Welcome to Z Time. We make apocalypse stories for survivors. Thanks for listening. On with the tale. I used to think South Beach was loud in a good way. Not just the music or the traffic or the tourists who didn't know how to cross a street without nearly getting hit, but the rhythm of it, the way everything felt alive. Predictable chaos. You could wake up at 6 in the morning and still hear the last of the night drifting through the streets below. Now that I think about it, the first sign something was wrong wasn't noise. It was the quiet between it. Angie was already awake when I rolled out of bed, sunlight cutting through the blinds in thin gold lines across the bedroom. I could hear the sewing machine going, steady, focused, like it always was when she got into a groove. That machine meant things were normal. I leaned in the doorway. Watching her work from the second bedroom, we turned into her studio. Fabric draped over everything, chairs, racks, even the back of the door. She didn't look up. "Morning," I said. She replied, which in Angie language meant, "I'm listening, but if you interrupt this line, I will kill you." I smiled and headed for the kitchen. Our place wasn't huge, but it felt bigger because of the windows. Floor-to-ceiling glass looking out toward the water, the city stretching behind us. We bought a year ago, took everything we had, and then some, but felt worth it every morning. Especially mornings like this. Coffee brewed, balcony door open, warm air rolling in off the ocean. Normal. We had our routine. I'd leave just before 7 for the job site, condo renovation a few blocks inland. Angie would work through the morning, take a break around lunch, then head up to the roof to check the garden. The garden was her idea. Well, our idea, but she made it real. The rooftop wasn't supposed to be anything special. Just a shared space, concrete and railings, maybe a couple of chairs if people felt social. But over the past year, a few of us had turned it into something else. Raised planters, irrigation lines, rain collection barrels rigged up with more optimism than engineering. Spinach, tomatoes, herbs, peppers, eggplant, cucumbers. Even a couple of banana plants that somehow hadn't died in the wind. It shouldn't have worked, but it did. "Hey," Angie called out finally, stepping into the kitchen, brushing hair out of her face. "Can you check the west side drip line tonight? It's been acting weird." "Yeah," I said. "Still leaking?" "Not leaking. Just inconsistent. Sounds like my last apprentice." She smirked. Less attitude, more water pressure. I handed her a coffee, and she leaned into me for a second, just a second, but it was enough. We'd been together 3 years. Lived here for one. Talking about kids. Not yet, but soon. Everything was lined up. I didn't notice the ambulance at first. We got them all the time. Sirens were part of the background here. But this one had been sitting at the corner longer than usual. Engine running. Back doors open. No one moving. I leaned on the balcony railing, squinting down. There was a small crowd, too far to make out faces, but something about the way they were standing felt off. Not curious. Not panicked. Just waiting. "Something up?" Angie asked behind me. "Probably nothing," I said. "Someone passed out or something." One of the paramedics stumbled. Actually stumbled. Like he'd tripped over nothing. The other one grabbed him, steadying him, but it wasn't smooth. It was clumsy. Off. We watched for another few seconds. Then a cop car pulled up, lights flashing, and the moment broke apart in emotion again. People talking. Someone waving their arms. Normal chaos. "See," I said. "Miami." Angie didn't answer right away. "Yeah," she said finally. "Miami." The elevator ride down was slower than usual. A guy from the 14th floor, Mark I think, was inside. Gym clothes, earbuds in, but not really working out. Just standing there, sweating more than he should have been. "You good?" I asked. He pulled one earbud out, blinking like it took effort to focus. "Yeah," he said. "Just didn't sleep." His voice sounded dry. Not sick exactly. Just wore down. Flu going around. He added, like he needed an explanation. "Yeah," I said. Heard that. I hadn't, but it sounded right. Outside, the air felt heavier than it should have. Not hotter, just thicker. Traffic was slower. Not jammed, just hesitant. A lot of people checking their phones at lights. A lot of people not moving right away when it turned green. I passed another ambulance halfway to the site. Then another. By the time I got to work, the crew was already there, but something was off. Luis was sitting on a stack of drywall, head in his hands. "You all right?" I asked. He looked up too fast. Eyes bloodshot. "Yeah," he said. "Just dizzy." "You sick?" He shook his head. "No, just, we're mourning." Across the room, someone dropped a tool. The sound echoed louder than it should have. By mid-morning, 2 guys had gone home. By noon, the supervisor was on his phone, pacing. By 1, I started noticing people weren't just tired. They were slow, like there was a delay between thinking and moving. I left early. Didn't even really decide to. Just packed up, told the supervisor I'd finish tomorrow. No, I said. I didn't know why, but I felt it. If something's happening, we're better off here. She nodded slowly. And for the first time since we moved in, the apartment didn't feel like a step forward. It felt like a place to hold the line. That night, we turned on the TV. Just to check. Just to see. That's when it started getting a name. The first thing the news did was disagree with itself. Every channel had a different version of the same story. Heat-related illness. Viral outbreak. Isolated incidents. Not isolated incidents. Under control. Not under control. They kept using calm voices. That was the part that made it worse. Angie muted the TV. Neither of us said anything for a while. Then, from somewhere down the hallway, a bang. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just wrong. We both looked at the door. Probably someone dropping something, I said. Yeah, she replied. Neither of us believed it. Our building wasn't one of those anonymous high-rises where nobody knows each other. Not exactly. You don't become friends with everyone, but you recognize faces. You learn routines. You collect small details without trying. And once you notice something's off, those details start to matter. Let's check the hallway, Angie said. I hesitated. Not because I didn't want to, because I did. That was the problem. I grabbed the small toolkit from under the sink, habit more than logic, and cracked the door open. The hallway lights were still on. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Mrs. Klein from 18B was already out there. Of course she was. She was in her late 60s, always dressed like she might be going somewhere important even when she wasn't. Lived alone, but knew everything about everyone. You heard that too? She asked, stepping closer. Yeah, I said. You know where it came from? She pointed down the hall. 19C, the young guy. Always has people over. Ethan, Angie said behind me. I think. Mrs. Klein nodded. Yes, that's him. Another sound. This time something scraping. From inside Ethan's apartment. The 3 of us stood there, not moving, waiting for it to resolve itself. It didn't. The elevator dinged. All of us flinched. Mark, the guy from the elevator that morning, stepped out. Still in gym clothes. Still sweating. But now it was worse. Shirt soaked through. Hair stuck to his forehead. His eyes. Unfocused. Hey, I said, instinct kicking in. You all right? He didn't answer right away. Just stood there, like he was trying to remember what the question meant. Yeah, he said finally. Just need water. His voice was hoarse. Cracked. Mrs. Klein took a step back. Angie noticed. I saw it. You want to sit down? Angie asked gently. Mark shook his head. Too fast. No, I'm good. He swallowed hard. Just my place. He moved past us. Not walking straight. Not drunk either. Just off. We all watched him fumble with his keys at his door. Missed the lock twice. Got on the 3rd try. Slipped inside. Door shut. Silence again. I don't like this, Mrs. Klein said quietly. No one argued. The scraping sound from Ethan's apartment came again. Closer to the door this time. Should we check on him? Angie asked. Mrs. Klein shook her head immediately. No, that's not our responsibility. I didn't like how fast she said it, or how relieved she sounded. A 4th voice joined us. You hear all that too? We turned. Devin, early 40s. Big guy. Built like he could carry a fridge by himself. Lived across from the elevator. Always friendly, but the kind of friendly that came with watching everything. Sounds like someone tearing the place apart, he added. 19C, I said. Devin nodded slowly. Yeah. I heard yelling earlier. Thought it was a party. Another thud from inside the apartment. Then a low sound. Not a voice. Not exactly. Something in between. Angie's hand found mine. Okay, Devin said, voice steady but lower now. That's not normal. No, I said. It's not. For a moment, it felt like we were all waiting for someone else to decide what to do. No one did. Building management? Angie suggested. Mrs. Klein let out a short, humorless laugh. They sent an email this morning about temporary service delays. I don't think they're coming. That bad? I asked. She gave me a look. You haven't checked your email? The TV inside our apartment was still on. Muted. Flashing headlines. Another impact from the door. Harder this time. The handle rattled. We all stepped back at the same time. Instinct. Okay, Devin said, more firmly now. We need to think about this. About what? Mrs. Klein snapped. We go back inside and lock our doors. That's what we do. And if he comes out? Angie asked. Silence. Devin looked at me, then at the door, then back at me. You got tools, right? I nodded slowly. Yeah. He exhaled. Then maybe we don't wait for that. Another slam. The door to 19C bowed inward slightly. Just a little, but enough. Mrs. Klein took another step back. I'm going inside, she said. This is not. I'm not. She didn't finish. Just turned and walked quickly to her apartment. Door shut. Lock clicked. That left 4 of us. Me, Angie, Devin, and whatever was inside 19C. I don't think that's a party anymore, Angie said quietly. No, I replied. Devin cracked his neck like he was gearing up for something physical. All right, he said. We either deal with this now, or we deal with it when it's worse. He looked at me again. You in? I looked at Angie. She didn't say no, but she didn't say yes either. From inside the apartment, a sudden, violent crash. Wood splintering. The door frame cracking. Decision made itself. Yeah, I said, because whatever was happening out there, it wasn't staying out there anymore. The door didn't break. Not fully, but it came close enough that none of us were thinking about opening it anymore. Back up, Devin said, holding a hand out across Angie and me. Another hit from inside 19C. The frame splintered a little more. Whatever was in there, it wasn't slowing down. We're not going in there, I said. Yeah, Devin nodded. Plan changed. That made 2 of us thinking the same thing, which meant it was probably the right call. A door opened behind us. Slow. Careful. Is it safe? We turned. A couple stood in the doorway of 18A. I'd seen them before, but never really spoken to them. Mid-30s. Clean, put together. The kind of people who always looked like they had somewhere better to be. Define safe, Devin muttered. The man stepped out first. I'm Daniel, he said, like we were at a networking event instead of whatever this was. This is Priya. Priya stayed half a step behind him, arms folded tight. What's going on? She asked. Another slam from 19C answered her. She flinched. Daniel didn't. He just frowned. Okay, he said. So we call the police. No one's coming. Mrs. Klein's voice cut in from her doorway. She cracked it open just enough to speak without stepping out. They will, Daniel said, firm. Certain. They're not, she replied. Turn on your television. Silence sat heavy for a second. Then, bullshit, Daniel said under his breath. A new voice joined from down the hall. You all finally noticing it too? We looked over. Luis. Not from the job site, different Luis. This one lived at the far end of the corridor. Late 20s, always had music playing too loud, always smelled faintly of weed. But right now, he looked sharper than I'd ever seen him. Alert, holding a baseball bat. You been out here? I asked. Since about 20 minutes ago, he said. There's more of this on other floors. That got everyone's attention. What do you mean more? Angie asked. Luis shrugged slightly. Noise. Screaming. Then, not screaming. Not a comforting distinction. Another door opened. Slower than the others. More deliberate. From 18D, an older man stepped out, tall, thin, wearing a robe like he'd been watching this unfold for a while before deciding to join. I assume we are now past the denial phase, he said calmly. No one responded. He nodded once. Good. Saves time. Name's Harold, he added. Retired engineer. Of course he was. Behind him, someone else slipped into the hallway. A younger woman, early 20s, maybe, hoodie, phone clutched in her hand like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. I can't get a signal, she said. Wi-Fi's still up, but everything's lagging. What's your name? Angie asked. Chloe. Her voice shook. Another impact from 19C. Louder. Cracks spreading through the frame. Okay, Devin said, raising his voice just enough to cut through the noise. We need to get organized. Daniel scoffed. Organized? It's one guy in an apartment. No, Luis said flatly. It's not. That hung in the air. We should isolate it, Harold said. Reinforce the hallway. Limit movement. That's insane, Daniel replied. We're not sealing people in their homes. You'd rather it gets out? Devin shot back. Priya finally spoke again. Daniel. But he waved her off. No. This is overreacting. People get sick. They act weird. That doesn't mean we turn into, what, some kind of bunker. Another slam. The door to 19C shifted in its frame. A visible gap now. Chloe let out a small sound. That's not normal. No, I said. It's not. Mrs. Klein's door opened a little wider. I have water, she said. Canned food. Enough for a few days. I suggest everyone returns to their apartments and does the same. Self-preservation. Clear. Simple. Alone. Luis shook his head. That's how you get picked off one by one. Or it's how you stay alive, she snapped back. Two different strategies. Both made sense. That was the problem. Devin looked at me again. I didn't know why he kept doing that. Maybe because I hadn't panicked. Maybe because I hadn't argued. Or maybe he just needed someone else to share the weight of making a call. What about the roof? Angie said suddenly. Everyone looked at her. The garden, she continued. Water collection. Open space. Fewer entry points. Harold nodded immediately. Defensible. Luis raised his bat slightly. I like that. Daniel shook his head. You're all insane. We're not abandoning our homes to go camp on the roof. It's not camping, I said. It's control. He laughed. Short. Sharp. Control? You think you have control right now. Another violent hit. The door to 19C split further. Wood cracking. Hinge bending. No one laughed after that. Priya grabbed Daniel's arm. We need to think about this, she said quietly. For the first time, he didn't pull away. Devin took a step back, scanning all of us. All right, here it is, he said. 3 options. He held up a finger. Stay in your apartments. Alone. Second finger. Work together. Secure this floor. Third finger. Move up. Roof. And you? I asked. He didn't hesitate. Not staying alone. Luis nodded. Same. Harold too. Collective defense is statistically preferable. All eyes turned. One by one. Choices being made without words. Mrs. Klein hesitated. Then, I will not go to the roof, she said. But, I will not stay alone either. That was as close to compromise as she was going to get. Chloe stepped closer to Angie. I don't want to be by myself. Priya looked at Daniel. Daniel looked at the cracking door. Another hit. Louder than all the others. The frame gave another inch. Fine, he said finally. For now, not agreement. But not refusal either. That left me. I looked at Angie, then at the door, then at the people around us. Strangers. Neighbors. Maybe something more now. We start here, I said. Secure the floor. Then we decide if we move. Devin gave a single nod. All right, he said. That's a plan. From inside 19C, something hit the door hard enough to make the whole wall shudder. And just like that, the hallway stopped being a shared space. It became a line. The first rule we agreed on wasn't spoken. It just happened. No one stood near 19C anymore. We pulled back toward the elevator into the hallway, giving the door space like it was something alive. Which, at this point, maybe it was. All right, Devin said, clapping his hands once. Not loud, but enough to focus everyone. We don't have time to overthink this. I think that's exactly what we need to do, Daniel shot back. Devin didn't even look at him. We block the corridor, limit movement, control what gets through. That's not containment, that's trapping, Daniel said. It's both, Harold replied calmly. That's the point. Another impact from 19C. Less frequent now, but heavier, like whatever was inside was tiring or changing pace. I didn't like either option. We use what we've got, I said, stepping in before the argument spiraled. Furniture, anything solid. We build a choke point here. I pointed to the narrow section of hallway just before the turn toward the elevators. Force anything coming through into a tight space. Luis nodded immediately. Funnel it. Harold gave a small approving look. Correct. Daniel folded his arms. And if it gets past that, I met his eyes. Then we've got bigger problems than your couch getting scratched. That shut him up. For now. Okay, Devin said. Everyone grab what you can from your apartments. Heavy first. Fast. And doors. Angie asked. I nodded. Keep them closed. Locked. Only open when you're bringing something out. Chloe looked nervous. What if it gets out while we're... It won't, Luis said. Too quick. Too confident. We all heard it. Another crack from 19C. Closer to breaking than holding. Move, Devin said. The hallway exploded into motion. I went for weight. Dining table first, solid wood. Awkward as hell to carry alone. Angie grabbed one side without asking. We didn't talk. Didn't need to. Careful, careful. Turn it. Got it. We wedged it sideways across the corridor, legs braced against the walls. Not perfect, but it was something. Luis came out dragging a low couch, breath already heavy. Where? He asked. Behind this, I said. Layer it. He shoved into place. angling it so it couldn't slide straight back. Harold moved slower, but smarter. Bookshelves. Loaded. Heavy not just from structure, but from everything inside. Mass over bulk, he muttered as he positioned one. Harder to shift. Devin reappeared carrying what looked like part of a bed frame. Figured vertical support, he said. We used it to brace the table from behind. Now it wouldn't tip easily. Chloe struggled with a chair. Angie took it from her gently. Stay with me, she said. You don't need to do the heavy stuff. Chloe nodded, grateful and a little ashamed. At the far end, Mrs. Klein opened her door just enough to slide out a box. Canned food. Water. She didn't step into the hallway. Just pushed it across. A contribution without commitment. Daniel and Priya came out last. Suitcases. Not furniture. I noticed immediately. So did Devin. We're not dragging our entire apartment out here, Daniel said defensively. No one asked you to, Devin replied. We asked you to help. I am helping, he said, gesturing to the bags. With what? Luis muttered. A vacation. Tension snapped tight. Enough, Angie said sharply. It cut cleaner than Devin's voice. Everyone paused. We need both, she continued. Supplies and barricades. She looked at Daniel. Put the bags behind the line. Then grabbed something heavy. A beat. Priya nodded first. Okay. She set one suitcase down and turned back toward their apartment. Daniel hesitated, then followed. Small shift, but it mattered. Another crash from 19C. Loud enough to make the new barricade shudder slightly. We all froze. Watching. Listening. The door didn't give. Not yet. Faster, Devin said. We worked harder. Smarter. Sweat building. Hands slipping. Breathing louder. We layered everything. Table. Couch. Shelves. Chairs. Frame. Even a refrigerator from Luis's place. Empty, thank God, dragged inch by inch into position. That thing alone changed the feel of the barrier. From makeshift to real. Okay, I said finally, stepping back. This is something. It wasn't perfect, but it would slow anything down. Force it into a narrow approach. Give us time. Maybe enough. Fall back, Harold asked, already thinking ahead. Good. I pointed toward the stairwell door near the elevators. We hold here. If it breaks through, we fall back to stairs. Move up. The roof, Angie added. Mrs. Klein's voice came from her doorway. And if the roof is compromised? No one answered. Because we didn't have one. We adapt, Devin said finally. Not reassuring, but honest. Luis tapped his bat against the floor lightly. What about weapons? Silence. Then, kitchen knives, Angie said. Tools, I added. Hammers, screwdrivers, anything with reach. Golf clubs, Chloe offered quietly. We all looked at her. She shrugged slightly. My dad's. Devin nodded. That works. Daniel exhaled sharply. This is insane, he said again, but softer this time. Less defiance. More realization. Another sound from 19C. Not a slam. Not a crash. A slow, dragging. Something against the inside of the door. We all turned. The cracked wood shifted slightly. A thin line of darkness visible through the split. No one moved. No one spoke. For the first time since we started, the hallway was completely still. Then, a shape moved behind the crack. Chloe gasped. The handle twitched. Once. Twice. And stopped. I tightened my grip on the hammer in my hand. Didn't remember picking it up. But I had it now. Everyone behind the barricade, Devin said quietly. No one argued. We moved back. Slow. Controlled. Eyes locked on the door. The line had been built. Now we were about to find out if it held. Angie's hand found mine again. And for the first time, I wasn't thinking about the city. Or the news. Or what this was. Just one thing. If it gets through, we fight. The TV said it before anyone in the hallway did. This is no longer being treated as isolated. The audio crackled, signal dipping in and out. Multiple cities, violent incidents, federal response, a new voice cut in. More urgent. If you're in a densely populated area, you are advised to remain indoors, secure your location, and avoid contact with static. Then a clip. Shaky phone footage. A street not too different from ours. People running. Someone falling. And then not getting back up. The screen froze on a frame that didn't make sense. Until it did. Angie whispered it first. Oh my God. Behind us a crack. Loud. Sharp. Final. We turned. The door to 19C gave way. Not all at once. But enough. The top hinge tore loose, the wood split down the middle, and the whole thing sagged inward like it had been holding its breath for too long. And then it moved. Ethan came through the gap. Except it wasn't Ethan anymore. His head hung at an angle that wasn't right. Skin gray. Not pale gray. Eyes open too wide, but not seeing anything. There was blood around his mouth. Dry and fresh. He didn't stumble out. He pushed out, like the door had been the only thing between him and motion. Back! Devin shouted. We were already moving, retreating behind the barricade. Heartbeats syncing with instinct. Ethan, it hit the broken doorframe on the way out. Didn't react. Didn't slow. Just kept coming. Fast. Too fast. It slammed into the barricade. Hard. The table shuddered. The couch shifted half an inch. The sound would fabric, bone, all colliding at once. Chloe screamed. Hold! Devin barked. It hit again. This time, it forced an arm through the gap between the table and the wall. Skin tearing. Bone scraping. No reaction. It doesn't feel it, Louise said, voice tight. No shit, I replied. The arm clawed forward blindly. Grabbing. Searching. Daniel stumbled back another step. Jesus, Jesus, focus. Angie snapped. Devin grabbed the table, bracing it. John, left side. I moved without thinking. Shoulder into the wood. Feet digging into carpet. Another impact. Stronger. The refrigerator behind us shifted slightly. That scared me more than anything. It's going to break through, Chloe said, panicking. No, Harold said calmly. It's going to create an opening. Same thing, she cried. No, he replied. One we can control. I understood what he meant a second later. Let it come through, I said. Everyone looked at me. Not all the way. I clarified. Just enough. Luis got it immediately. His grip tightened on the bat. Devin nodded once. On you. The next hit came. We gave an inch. Just an inch. The gap widened. Ethan forced his head and shoulders through. Skin catching on splintered wood. Jaw snapping open and closed like it was trying to bite the air itself. Up close, it was worse. So much worse. Now, Devin shouted. Luis swung first. The crack of the bat against Ethan's skull echoed down the hallway. But it didn't drop. It jerked sideways. Snap back. Still reaching. What the? Luis stumbled back. Again. I yelled. He swung harder this time. Bone gave. Ethan slumped forward, still moving. Still trying to push through. Ed. Angie shouted. I didn't think. I stepped in. Hammer already in my hand. And brought it down. Once. A dull, wet impact. Again. The resistance changed. Again. Something gave way completely. Ethan's body went slack. The arm stopped moving. The jaw hung open. Still. For the first time, silence. Real silence. I didn't move right away. The hammer still raised. Breathing hard. Waiting. Nothing. It's dead. Chloe whispered. No, Harold said quietly. Then after a beat, now it is. I stepped back. Hands shaking. Didn't feel like they were mine. Angie grabbed my wrist gently. Hey, it's done. I nodded. Didn't trust my voice. Behind us, the TV kept talking. Confirmed fatalities, unidentified pathogen, aggressive behavior, military mobilization, no more guessing. No more denial. This was real. Devin looked at the body wedged in the barricade. Then at all of us. We're not staying here, he said. No one argued. Roof, Angie said. This time, everyone agreed. We moved fast. Grab what we could carry. Water, bags, tools. No more furniture. No more plans for the hallway. Mrs. Klein came out fully now. No hesitation. No pride left. Daniel didn't say a word. Just grabbed the suitcases. Chloe stayed glued to Angie. Luis kept the bat. Tighter now, like he understood what it was for. Devin opened the stairwell door. Paused. Listened. Then nodded. Clear. We started up. 1 flight. 2. 3. No one spoke. Just footsteps. Breathing. The distant, muffled chaos of a building starting to come apart. When we hit the roof door, we stopped. This was it. Devin pushed it open. Light flooded in. Wind. Open air. We stepped out. And for a second, it almost felt normal. Then we looked over the edge. Angie lifted the binoculars with shaking hands. I took the telescope mounted near the garden rail. Down below, South Beach was still moving. But not like before. Cars crashed into each other at intersections. People ran in every direction. Some chasing. Some being chased. A man tackled another in the street. Didn't stop. Didn't let go. Someone tried to pull him off, then got grabbed too. Sirens everywhere. Gunshots. Distant. Then closer. Jesus, Luis muttered. Chloe started crying quietly. Mrs. Klein just stared. All that certainty she had before gone. Daniel finally spoke. Soft, barely audible. This is everywhere. Harold adjusted his glasses. Watching. Analyzing. Yes, he said. Most likely. I lowered the scope. Looked at Angie. This wasn't a bad day. This wasn't a crisis. This was the end of something. And maybe the beginning of something else. Behind us, the rooftop garden swayed in the wind. Green. Alive. For the first time since this started, I saw it differently. Not as a project. Not as a hobby. As a lifeline. We can't survive here, Angie said quietly. I looked back at the city. Then at the garden. Then at the people around us. Strangers. Not anymore. Yeah, I said. If we do it right. The door to the roof didn't get locked. It got watched. Devin stood there for a full 10 seconds after we came through, one hand still on the handle, listening down the stairwell like he expected something to come charging up after us. Nothing did. Not yet. He closed it slowly. Someone stays on this, he said. No one argued. The roof felt bigger than it ever had before. Or maybe it just felt exposed. Wind pushed across the open space, rattling the planters, rustling leaves. The irrigation lines Angie and I had set up months ago ticked softly as water moved through them, steady, reliable, almost comforting. It didn't match what we'd just seen downstairs, or out on the streets. Okay, I said, forcing myself into it. We need structure. That word again. Structure meant control, or at least the illusion of it. We split this into zones, I continued, pointing as I spoke. Sleeping area, away from the edge. Garden stays as is. Water here. I nodded toward the rain barrels and storage tanks we'd rigged up along the back wall. Harold was already walking over to them, inspecting. Volume, he asked. Roughly. Couple 100 liters total, I said. Rain-fed, plus we topped it up last week. He nodded. Finite. Needs rationing immediately. Daniel let out a breath. Here we go. No bite in it this time. Just fatigue. Say it, Devin said. Daniel ran a hand through his hair. We don't even know how long this lasts. A few days? A week? We start rationing now, and we're sitting on full tanks while help shows up. No, Harold said flatly. We ration now, so we are still alive if help does not. That's worst-case thinking. That is correct thinking, Harold replied. Silence. 2 liters per person per day, Angie said, stepping in. Minimum hydration. We track usage. No waste. Everyone looked at her. She didn't back down. Daniel exhaled. Fine. That was 2 times now. He was bending. Not breaking, but bending. Food? Luis asked. We all turned toward the garden. It looked the same as it always had. Rows of green. Tomatoes ripening. Herbs thick and healthy. Banana leaves swaying. But now it wasn't just a garden. It was math. It's not enough, I said honestly. Not on its own. Not for all of us. Chloe's face dropped slightly. But it extends what we have, Angie added quickly. Fresh food. Nutrients. If we're smart, we can keep it producing. Mrs. Klein stepped forward. I have supplies, she said. Canned goods. Dry food. Enough for, perhaps a week. 2, if careful. Luis nodded. Same. Snacks can stuff. Not pretty, but works. Daniel and Priya exchanged a look. We got some, Priya said. Not a lot. Devin shrugged. I eat like a machine. So, not much. A small, humorless laugh passed through the group. It helped. A little. All right, I said. We pull it. That got attention. All of it. Daniel asked. Yes. No, he said immediately. There it was. Then people hide food, I replied. People lie. People starve while someone else has extra. That's exactly what happens, Luis cut in. Silence again. Priya looked at Daniel, then said quietly, he's right. That one landed. Daniel didn't respond, but he didn't argue again. Everything gets counted, Harold said. Logged. Distributed evenly. Who tracks it? Chloe asked. Everyone looked around. Then, almost at the same time, they looked at Angie. She blinked. Okay, she said. Yeah, I can do that. Another shift. Roles forming. Sleeping, Devin said, moving things forward. We don't all crash at once. Rotation, I agreed. 2 people awake at all times. 1 on the door. 1 watching the perimeter. I'll take first watch, Luis said immediately. I'll join, Devin added. I'll take second, I said. Angie squeezed my hand slightly. I'll stay with you. No, I said gently. You sleep. She didn't like it, but she nodded. We started laying things out. Blankets dragged up from apartments. Cushions. Whatever we could make work. Grouped together, not spread out. No one wanted distance anymore. The sun dipped lower. Light turning gold. Then orange. Then something darker. It should have been peaceful. It wasn't. The first sound came just as we were settling into positions. A faint echo. From below. A thud. Devin froze near the door. Head tilting slightly. Listening. Another sound. Closer. A dragging. Luis tightened his grip on the bat. Tell me that's not. It is, Devin said quietly. Something hit the stairwell door from the inside. Not hard. Not like before. But deliberate. A slow scrape followed. Like fingers. Or nails. Chloe covered her mouth. They're coming up, she whispered. No, Harold said. Not yet. We all looked at him. They're exploring, he continued. Following sound. Movement. Another scrape. Longer this time. Then a dull impact. The door handle twitched. Everyone stepped back. Can it get through? Priya asked. I looked at the door. Solid. Metal. Not easily, I said. That wasn't the same as no. Another hit. Slightly harder. Then something new. A sound from the side of the building. We turned. Luis moved first, heading toward the edge. Don't. I started. Too late. He looked over. Then froze. No way, he said. We rushed over. Careful. Slow. I grabbed the binoculars from Angie and looked down the side of the building. At first, nothing. Then movement. 2 floors below. A figure. Climbing. Not like a person should. Not controlled. Not careful. Just pulling itself upward. Grabbing whatever it could. Balconies. Railings. Anything. Its head snapped upward suddenly. Like it knew we were there. I jerked the binoculars back instinctively. Heart slamming. It's climbing, I said. No one spoke. No one needed to. The threat wasn't just below anymore. It was coming up. Devin stepped back from the edge. Looked at the door. Then at all of us. All right, he said. Voice steady. But tighter now. We don't just hold this place. He nodded toward the walls. The edges. The height that suddenly didn't feel like protection anymore. We defended. The wind picked up. Rustling the garden. Shaking the leaves. Alive. And now so was everything else. I looked at Angie. At the group. At the door. At the edge. We had water. We had food. We had a plan. And it still might not be enough. Night settled in fully, and with it came a different kind of thinking. Less reaction. More calculation. We kept the lights off. All of them. Even the small ones. Light travels, Devin had said. Further than you think. So we stayed in shadow. Low. Quiet. The city below kept making noise for us. Distant screams. Engines revving and dying. That constant, restless movement that never quite stopped. It covered us. Or at least, we hoped it did. The stairwell door hadn't moved in a few minutes. That worried me more than when it was banging. They cycle, Harold said quietly, like he'd been thinking it through. Activity, then pause. Stimulus-driven behavior. They get bored? Luis asked. No, Harold replied. They redirect. That wasn't better. John, Angie said softly. I followed her gaze. 2 buildings over. Same rooftop. The light was back. Short bursts this time. Tighter. More controlled. Not sweeping anymore. Focused. They're still there, Chloe whispered. Yeah, I said. I raised the binoculars again, slower this time. Careful not to silhouette myself against the skyline. They were closer to the center of their roof now. Grouped tighter. One person holding the light low, angling it upward instead of sweeping wide. Smarter. They learned, I said. What? Daniel asked. They're not broadcasting anymore. They're directing. The beam flashed again. 3 quick pulses. Pause. 2 slower ones. Harold stepped closer. Not random, he said. Patterned. Like Morse. Chloe asked. Maybe, he replied. Or simplified. Louis scratched his head. Anyone here actually know Morse code? Silence. Cool, he muttered. The light flashed again. Same pattern. They're repeating it, Angie said. That means it's a message. Or a test, Devin added. I kept watching. Counting. 3 fast. Pause. 2 slow. Pause. Repeat. They're trying to establish something simple, I said. Not full communication. Just confirmation. Confirmation of what? Priya asked. That someone's there. The beam paused. Held steady for a second. Then 3 fast. 2 slow. Again. They're waiting for an answer. Chloe said. Yeah, I replied. The question hung there. Same as before, but different now. This wasn't random signaling. This was controlled, measured, safer. All right, Devin said quietly. Talk me through the risk. I lowered the binoculars. Thought it through. Short burst response, I said. No sweeping. No movement. Keep it low, tight. We mirror their pattern. Nothing more. And what does that give us? Daniel asked. Connection, Angie said. And exposure, Devin countered. Minimal, I replied. We're not lighting up the roof. Just enough for them to see. Another scrape from below. Closer. Tom wasn't on our side. We do it once, I said. Then we go dark again. Devin held my gaze for a second, weighing it. Then he nodded. Once. Luis already had the flashlight in hand. Tell me what to do. I pointed downward. Keep it low. Don't raise your arm above the railing. He adjusted immediately. Same pattern, I said. Either way, Devin said, we don't get pulled into a long exchange. He was right. Short. Controlled. Respond once more, I said. Same rule. Keep it tight. Luis nodded. Raise the light just enough. One long, I said. Match them. Flash. Pause. Flash. Off. Dark. This time, the response came faster. 2 quick flashes. Pause. 2 quick flashes. Then nothing. They stopped, Chloe said. No, I said quietly. They finished. Harold nodded slightly. Basic acknowledgement loop. Contact confirmed. No escalation. Meaning? Daniel asked. Meaning, Harold said. They understand the risk too. That sat with all of us. Out there, another group. Thinking the same way. Making the same calculations. The connection wasn't loud. Wasn't emotional. It was controlled. Careful. Real. A sudden, violent door slammed into the stairwell door. Everyone jumped. The handle jerked hard. Metal rattling. Devin moved immediately. Back from the door. Luis stepped away from the edge. Another scrape from the side. Closer than before. I moved toward the railing slowly. Looked down. A shape was there. Just below. Climbing. Closer than it had any right to be. I stepped back. They're almost here, I said. The rooftop across the way stayed dark now. Silent. But we knew they were there. And they knew we were too. Not alone. But not safe either. Angie took my hand. The flashlight sat heavy in Luis's grip. Unused now. Because the conversation was over. For tonight. Everything else would be louder. The first real hit on the stairwell door came like a gunshot. Metal rang out across the rooftop, sharp and violent, snapping every one of us into motion. Back, Devin barked. We were already moving. Instinct now. Positions forming without needing to be called. Another radar. Harder. The handle jerked down, snapping back up. It's not just one, Luis said, gripping the bat tighter. He was right. You could hear it now, multiple impacts. Not coordinated, but overlapping. They're stacking up down there, I said. Pressure, Harold added. Repeated force. Hinges will fail before the door does. Not what I wanted to hear. Then we don't let it get that far, Devin said. He looked at me. Decision time again. I nodded. We open it. Chloe shook her head immediately. No way. Controlled, I said. We open, draw one through close. Reduce the pressure. Like before, Luis said. Exactly like before. Angie grabbed my arm. You sure? No. Yeah. I said anyway. Devin stepped up to the door. Luis is right. Me on the left with the hammer. Everyone else back, Devin said. No one argued. He took a breath. Waited for the next impact. Timed it. As the hit came, he yanked the door open. Something lunged immediately. Too fast. Too close. A man, what used to be one, half fell, half threw himself through the doorway. Skin torn. Eyes empty. Mouth working. Luis swung. Crack. The bat connected with the side of its head, snapping it sideways, but it didn't drop. Again. I shouted. He swung again. Harder. Bone gave. The body stumbled forward, still moving. I stepped in, hammer up, and brought it down. Once. Twice. Third time it stopped. Back, Devin yelled. We dragged the body clear as he slammed the door shut again. Another impact hit it immediately from the other side. Louder now. Angrier. But lighter. Less weight, Harold said. Good, Devin replied. We didn't stop. We repeated it. Open. Strike. Drag. Close. Again. And again. Each one the same. But harder. Slower. Arms burning. Breathing ragged. Hands slick. By the fourth, Luis nearly missed. The bat clipped shoulder instead of skull. It lunged, closer than any of us wanted. Devin stepped in, shoulder checking it back as I brought the hammer down hard enough to feel it through my arm. That one stayed down. We paused after that, listening. The impacts on the door were gone, replaced with something weaker. Scraping, dragging. Clear enough, Devin said. No one disagreed. We had space again. For now. Stairwell, I said. We all knew what that meant. We couldn't leave them piling up below. Not with the door between us and them. Devin nodded. Quick and quiet. We opened the door slower this time. The smell hit first. Rot. Blood. Something worse underneath. The stairwell lights flickered weakly. Two bodies lay just inside. Another further down the steps. All still. Make sure, Devin said. We did. Quick. Efficient. No chances. Then we moved them, dragging them up, one at a time, out onto the roof. Luis didn't hesitate. He grabbed the first by the shoulders, hauled it to the edge. On three, he said. Devin stepped in. They lifted and dropped it over. We didn't watch it fall. Didn't need to. The others followed, one by one, clearing the space, resetting the line. When the last one went over, Devin shut the stairwell door again. This time it stayed quiet, for a while, until Luis froze. Don't move, he said. We all did anyway. Just slower. What? I asked. He pointed. The edge. Opposite side of the roof. A hand. Gripping the lip. Pulling. My stomach dropped. It made it up, Chloe whispered. No one corrected her. The head came next. Eyes first. Then the rest. It dragged itself over the edge, body twisting unnaturally, limbs working without coordination, but with relentless drive. Closer than before. No barrier. No funnel. Just us. Spread, Devin said. We moved. Not too far, but enough. Don't let it get inside the group. I added. Luis stepped forward. Bat ready. Wait, I said. It was still half over the edge. Unstable. Let it commit, I said. Same as before. Timing. Position. It pulled itself up further. Torso over. One leg still hanging. Now, go. Luis swung. The bat connected, but awkward angle. The body twisted, didn't fall. It lunged forward instead. Too close. Devin hit it from the side, knocking it off balance. I stepped in, hammer down once it snapped toward me. Too fast. Teeth inches from my arm. Angie shouted something, I didn't hear what. I brought the hammer down again. Hard. Then again. Luis recovered, swung, crack. This time it dropped. Still. No movement. No sound. Just the wind. No one spoke for a few seconds. Then, everyone good? Devin asked. Nods. All around. Barely. Luis let out a breath. Okay. Yeah. We're not letting any more of those get that close. Agreed, I said. We dragged it to the edge. Same as the others. Dropped it. This time we all watched. It hit the ground below with a finality that felt necessary. We backed away from the edge. No one said it, but we all knew. The height wasn't protection, just delay. The sky started to change. Not fast, not dramatic, but enough. Black softened to deep blue, then gray. Dawn. We made it. For now. Angie leaned into me, exhausted. Still here, she said. Yeah, I replied. Luis rubbed his arms. Feels like a week. It's been one night, Chloe said quietly. That hit harder than anything. Daniel looked toward the stairwell. Then the edge. Then the city. We need better communication, he said. No one argued. Not light, Angie added. Too risky in the dark. Daytime signals, Harold said. Visible, silent. I nodded. Whiteboard. They all looked at me. Apartment below, I said. Grab something we can write on. Big. Clear. Devin gave a tired half smile. Field trip. We moved as a group this time. Down one level. Quick. Controlled. The apartment we chose had already been abandoned. Door unlocked. Inside, normal life just paused. We found it in the kitchen. A whiteboard. Marker still clipped to the side. Perfect, Angie said. Back up to the roof. We positioned near the edge. Low. Careful. I wrote the first message. Alive. How many? We held it up, angled toward the other building. Waited. The rooftop across the way shifted. Movement. Then, a board of their own. Raised. For you? Chloe smiled for the first time since this started. Us too, she said. I wrote again. 8 total. Water plus food limited. You? They answered. Same. No injuries. You? I paused. Looked at the group. We're okay, Angie said. I wrote, okay. One contact. Handled. It took a second longer this time. Then, we had two. Secure roof. Devin nodded slightly. Good. They're thinking the same way. I wrote one more. Stay low. Signal day only. Plan later. Their response came quick. Agreed. Stay safe. We lowered the board. Didn't need to say anything else. Connection made. Rules set. Distance kept. The sun crested the horizon. Lights spilling across the city. Revealing everything. The streets. The damage. The bodies. And us. Still standing. Still thinking. Still alive. I looked at Angie. Then at the others. Then across at the rooftop in the distance. We weren't alone anymore. But we weren't together either. And for now, that was exactly how it had to be. Daylight didn't make it better. It just made it clear. The sun came up over South Beach like it always did, slow, warm, almost peaceful. For a few seconds, if you didn't look down, you could pretend. Then you looked. I had the binoculars up before anyone said a word. Not because I wanted to, because I needed to understand what we were dealing with. The streets were a mess. Cars sat at angles that didn't make sense, crashed into each other, abandoned mid-turn, doors left open. Some still idled. One had its horn blaring non-stop, echoing up through the buildings. There were bodies. Not everywhere, but enough. And movement. Slow figures wandering between the cars. Some alone, some in small clusters. No pattern I could see. Just drifting. What do you see? Angie asked quietly. People, I said. And not people. I adjusted the focus. Zoomed in further down the main road. A police car sat sideways across an intersection. Lights still flashing. Driver's door open. No officers in sight. A fire engine was parked half up on the curb a block over. Ladder extended halfway, like it had been deployed and then abandoned mid-call. Emergency services? Devin asked. Gone, I said. Or overwhelmed. Louise stepped closer. Military. I scanned further. Nothing. No checkpoints. No organized response. Just fragments of what used to be one. I passed the binoculars to Angie. She looked, then lowered them slowly. It's everywhere, she said. No one argued. I picked up the telescope next, aiming toward nearby buildings. Balconies first. Some empty. Some trashed. Chairs knocked over, glass shattered, doors hanging open. One had a body slumped against the railing. Didn't move. I shifted. Another building. Higher floors. Movement. A curtain twitching. I froze. Adjusted focus. There, a face. Gone just as fast. Someone's there, I said. Alive. Chloe asked. I think so. We all leaned in a little. Like that would help. I scanned the rooftop. Empty. No movement. No setup. They're staying inside, Angie said. Safer, Devin replied. For now. I moved on. Another building. This one had people on the roof. Not organized like us. Scattered. Pacing. One shouting over the edge. Too loud. Too exposed. They won't last, Louise said quietly. No one disagreed. Further out, smoke. Thin columns rising from different parts of the city. Not massive fires, but enough. Uncontrolled. The TV inside the stairwell access room still worked. Barely. We checked in shifts. Signal cutting in and out. State of emergency. Remain indoors. Avoid contact. National Guard. Same messages. No detail. No timeline. Useless, Daniel muttered. Not useless, Harold said. Just behind. Behind what? Chloe asked. Harold didn't answer. We regrouped near the garden. It looked better in daylight. Alive. Bright. Out of place. Angie knelt beside one of the planters, checking the soil automatically. Still good, she said. Irrigation held overnight. That's something, I replied. We all gathered around. All right, Devin said. We made it through the night. Now we figure out how to keep doing that. Water's priority, Harold added. Food too, Mrs. Klein said. We cannot rely on what we have indefinitely. Angie nodded. We expand the garden. That got attention. How? Louise asked. More planters, she said. More soil. Anything we can salvage from other apartments, pots, containers, even bathtubs if we have to. Sun exposure, Harold asked. We map it, she replied. Rotate crops. Use what we've got. He nodded. Sustainable thinking. Daniel crossed his arms. And while we're gardening, what? Just ignore everything else. No, I said. We secure the building. That shifted the focus. We clear our floor first. I continued. Then below, one level at a time. Quietly, Devin added. And fast, Louise said. Chloe looked nervous again. What if there's more of them? There will be, I said. No point lying. That's why we do it controlled, Devin said. Same as before. Small engagements. No noise if we can help it. Priya stepped closer to Daniel. We need supplies anyway, she said. Food, water, medicine. Mrs. Klein nodded. And tools. Batteries. Anything useful. Harold added. We should catalog everything we find. Centralize resources. Yeah, Louise said. No hoarding. Daniel didn't respond. But he didn't argue either. Another small shift. We split into 2 teams, Devin said. Too risky, I replied. We stay together for now. He thought about it, then nodded. All right, 1 unit. Clear, collect, return, I said. No wandering. No side trips. And if we run into trouble, Chloe asked. We fall back, Devin said immediately. No hero moves. Louise smirked slightly. Looking at you, man. I ignored him. Angie stood, brushing dirt from her hands. I'll stay up here, she said. I looked at her. Garden, inventory, comms with the other rooftop, she added. That made sense. Didn't mean I liked it. I'll stay too, Mrs. Klein said. Assist where I can. Chloe hesitated. Then, I'll stay, she said. Help with. Whatever. Good. Less risk. That left 5 of us. Me, Devin, Louise, Daniel, Harold. Not the most balanced team. But it would have to do. I grabbed the hammer. Checked the weight. Felt different now. Familiar. Louise spun the bat once. Less show this time. More readiness. Devin opened the stairwell door slowly. We all listened. Nothing. Let's move, he said. We stepped inside. Back into the building. The smell hit again. And the quiet. Not empty. Waiting. I glanced back once. Angie stood by the garden. Watching. I gave her a small nod. Then turned back to the dark. Because if we were going to survive this, we couldn't just hide above it. We had to take control of what was below. The stairwell felt tighter on the way down. Same walls. Same steps. But now, we knew what could be waiting. Devin led. I stayed just behind him. Louise covered the rear. Daniel and Harold in the middle. Slow, Devin whispered. We moved 1 step at a time. No rushing. No noise we didn't need. The door to our floor came into view. Closed. Devin paused. Hand on the handle. Listening. Nothing. He looked back. We nodded. He opened it just enough to see through. Then wider. The hallway looked the same. Furniture still piled into the barricade. The broken door to 19C hanging open. But something was different. Smell that, Louise whispered. I nodded. Stronger now. Rot. We stepped through. Careful. Check corners, Devin said. We spread slightly. Not far. Never out of reach. The body we'd left wedged in the barricade was still there. But it had shifted. Did that move? Daniel asked. Probably settled, Harold said. I didn't like how unsure that sounded. We approached the barricade. Devin motioned. Louise and I pulled it back just enough to slip through. One at a time. Into the other side of the hallway. Clear. For now. 19C first, I said. No one argued. We approached the open apartment. Door splintered. Frame broken. Inside dark. Lights? Daniel asked. No. Devin said immediately. Eyes adjust. Light draws attention. He stepped in first. We followed. The apartment was wrecked. Furniture overturned. Glass everywhere. Blood on the walls. No body. That was wrong. He came out, Louise said quietly. Yeah, I replied. But something still felt off. We moved room by room. Living area, clear. Kitchen, clear. Bedroom door closed. Devin held up a hand. We stacked on the wall. He nodded to me. I tightened my grip on the hammer. He opened the door. A figure lunged from inside. Too fast. I barely registered it before it hit Devin. They slammed into the wall together. Move, he shouted. Louise swung, missed. Hit the doorframe. The thing snapped its head toward him, giving me an opening. I stepped in, hammer down. Once it jerked. Again, Louise recovered, swung, crack. The body dropped. Still. Silence. Daniel backed up hard, breathing fast. Jesus, Jesus, focus, Devin snapped. He pushed off the wall, checking himself. You good? I asked. Yeah, he said. Didn't get me. We all looked. No bite. No blood. Clear it, he said. We checked the rest of the bedroom. Nothing. Bathroom, clear. Closet, clear. 2 in 1 apartment, Harold said. Density increasing. Means we move faster, Devin replied. No, Harold corrected. It means we move smarter. We dragged the bodies out into the hallway. Left them for now. Next, I said. 18A, Daniel in Priya's place. Daniel stepped forward, hand shaking slightly as he unlocked the door. You don't have to, I started. I do, he said. He opened it. We moved in. Clean. Undisturbed. Good, I said. We moved through anyway. Every room. Every corner. Nothing. Daniel exhaled, some tension leaving him. Grab what we can later, Devin said. Mark it. We moved on. 18B, Mrs. Klein's. Locked. She's upstairs, Louise said. Still check it, Devin replied. We opened it. Neat. Organized. No signs of struggle. Clear. Next, I said. 18D, Harold's. Already open. We checked anyway. Clear. So far contained. Manageable. Then a sound. From further down the hall. A door creaking. We froze. That wasn't us, Louise whispered. No, I said. It came again. Slow. Intentional. Devin motioned. We moved as a unit. Toward the far end, where Louise lived. And beyond that, the last apartment on the floor. Door slightly open. We hadn't checked it yet. Stay tight, Devin said. We approached. The door moved slightly. From inside. Then a voice. Don't come in. We all stopped. Not infected. Human. Easy, Devin said. We're not here to hurt you. A pause. Then stay back. The tone changed. Harder. I stepped slightly to the side, trying to get an angle. Inside, movement. Then a man stepped into view. Mid-30s. Unshaven. Eyes wide. Holding a knife. And behind him, another figure. Older. Sitting on the floor. Not moving much. Who are you? He demanded. Same as you, I said. Trying to stay alive. Then stay out, he snapped. Luis shifted slightly. Relax, man. Don't tell me to relax, he barked, raising the knife slightly. Tension spiked instantly. Devin stepped forward just enough. Hands visible. We cleared the floor, he said calmly. You're safer with us than alone. The man laughed. Short. Sharp. Safer, he said. You just brought all that noise down here. He wasn't wrong. We handled it, I said. For now, he replied. Silence. We all felt it. The difference. We were building something. He was holding on to something. We've got a secure rooftop, I said. Water. Food. You, and I nodded toward the older figure, can come up. He didn't even look back. No. What? Daniel asked. Because I don't trust you, he said. Fair. But you're not going to last here, Louise said. Neither are you, he shot back. Another pause. Devin exhaled slowly. All right, he said. We're not forcing anything. The man didn't lower the knife. But we're clearing the building, Devin continued. That includes this floor. The man's jaw tightened. You come in here, he said, and I'll treat you like them. Not a bluff. I could see it. This wasn't panic. This was fear turned into something harder. We don't need to clear your place, I said. Devin looked at me. I shook my head slightly. Not worth it. Not now. He understood. Fine, Devin said. You stay. But if things change, they won't, the man cut in. We all knew that was a lie. But we let it sit. Door stays closed, I said. You hear us coming, you call out first. No response. Just the knife. Still raised. We backed off. Slow. Controlled. No one turned their back until the door shut. And locked. Luis let out a breath. Guy's a problem. Guy's scared, I replied. Same thing, Daniel said. No one argued. We stood there for a moment. The hallway quiet again. But different now. Not empty. Divided. Finish the floor, Devin said. We nodded. Because clearing the dead was one thing. Living with the living, that was going to be harder. We didn't celebrate clearing our floor. Didn't even talk about it much. Because the next step was already waiting. Devin stood at the stairwell door again, hand resting on the handle like it had become his default position. Same rules, he said. Tight. Quiet. No rushing. Luis adjusted his grip on the bat. Daniel wiped his hands on his jeans. Harold just nodded. I checked the hammer. Down one level, I said. We clear, we pull back. No overextension. No arguments. That worried me more than if there had been. Devin opened the door. The smell hit harder this time. Thicker. Jesus. Luis muttered. Stay focused, Devin said. We stepped down. The stairwell lights flickered weaker here. More shadow. Less visibility. We moved slow. Halfway to the next landing. A sound. Not from below. From the landing itself. A soft movement. Devin froze. Held up a hand. We all stopped. Then, A shape shifted in the darkness. Contact, he whispered. It came at us fast. Too fast for the space. Louise swung, connected. The body slammed into the wall but didn't stop. It clawed forward, hands reaching. I stepped in, hammer down, once the confined space made it worse. Closer. Messier. Devin shoved it back down the stairs. Louise finished it with a second swing. It went still. We stood there, breathing hard. That's one, Daniel said. Means more, I replied. Always. We reached the next floor. Door closed. Devin listened. Silence. He opened it. The hallway was darker than ours. Lights out. Emergency strips barely glowing. Stick close, I said. We stepped through. Immediately a sound. Multiple. From deeper in the corridor. Yeah. That's not one, Luis whispered. Shapes moved at the far end. 3. Maybe 4. They're grouping, Harold said. Or just stuck, Daniel replied. They'll move when we do, I said. And they did. One turned, head snapping toward us. Then the others followed. Back to choke point, Devin said. We moved quickly. Not panicked, but fast. Back toward the stairwell entrance. Narrower space. Controlled. The first one reached us. Louise swung, dropped it clean. The second pushed over it, tripped, still reaching. I brought the hammer down. Devin kicked it back. The third hit harder. Caught Luis off balance. He stumbled. Luis. Daniel shouted. I stepped in, too close, teeth snapping inches from my arm. Devin slammed into it from the side, driving it into the wall. Finish it, he yelled. Luis recovered, swung, crack. It dropped. The fourth never made it. It stopped halfway down the hall, watching, then turned, and disappeared into one of the apartments. We didn't follow. No one suggested it. Hold, Devin said. We stayed where we were. Listening. Nothing came back out. That's new, Daniel said. Not mindless, Harold added. I didn't like that at all. Mark it, I said. We don't clear blind rooms. Devin nodded. We moved methodically now. Apartment by apartment. Doors opened carefully. Rooms cleared fast. 2 more inside separate units. Both contained. Both handled. But it wasn't like our floor. More damage. More signs of panic. Blood trails. Broken doors. And that constant feeling that we weren't alone. After the 5th apartment, Devin called it. That's enough, he said. We don't push deeper today. No one argued. We marked what we cleared. Left the rest. Controlled. Not complete. We moved back to the stairwell. Up. Every step lighter than the last. When we reached the roof, the light hit us again. And the space. And the air. It felt like surfacing. Angie was already waiting. Whiteboard in hand. You were gone longer, she said. More down there, I replied. She nodded. Not surprised. Mrs. Klein and Chloe hovered nearby, watching us closely, counting us. All good, Chloe asked. Luis gave a tired grin. Yeah, still ugly though. Angie turned the board toward us. They asked if we can see street block east. Any safe route? I exhaled. They're scouting too. Smart, Harold said. We moved to the edge again. Binoculars up. East side. Streets more congested there. More abandoned cars. More movement. No clear path, I said. Too dense, Devin added. Write it, Angie said. I took the marker. No safe route. Streets heavy. Multiple groups. We held it up. The other rooftop responded quickly. Same here. Any military? Louise snorted. Yeah, tell them no. I wrote. None seen. Police abandoned. Fire trucks static. They answered. We hear gunfire west. Distant. That got everyone's attention. Military? Chloe asked. Or survivors, Daniel said. Or both, I added. I wrote. Heard nothing west. We'll listen tonight. They paused longer this time. Then we have tools. Rope possible. Not today. Luis raised an eyebrow. Rope? Bridge idea, Angie said quietly. Devin shook his head immediately. Too risky. Not now, I said. But later. Maybe. I wrote. Not now. Maybe later. Hold positions. Their response came fast. Agreed. Stay alive. We lowered the board. No more needed. The connection felt different now. Not just presence. Planning. Possibility. Devin looked out over the city. Then back at us. We clear 1 floor a day, he said. Secure what we can. Build up here. Stay in contact with them. He nodded toward the other rooftop. Maybe that becomes something. I looked at Angie. At the garden. At the building beneath us. At the people across the way. This wasn't just survival anymore. It was structure. The beginning of something that might last. If we didn't screw it up, we didn't clear the building in a day. We didn't clear it in 3. It became a routine, a process, a grind, one floor at a time. Down, clear, mark, back up, repeat. The second day was worse than the first. More of them. Not in massive numbers, but enough. Enough to make every hallway a risk, every doorway a question. We learned quickly. Never rush a room. Always check behind doors. Never assume a body is still. Luis almost paid for that one. 3rd floor. Will look like a corpse slumped against the couch. Moved when he got too close. He reacted fast, but not fast enough to avoid the scare. After that, we treated everything like it was alive. The deeper we went, the worse it got. More damage. More signs of panic. Doors broken inward. Walls smeared. People hadn't just gotten sick. They'd fought it and lost. We didn't find many survivors. Just one more. A woman in a bathroom on the 5th floor. Door locked. No light. Barely speaking. She came up with us. Didn't say much after that. Just stayed close to Mrs. Klein. Most apartments told the same story. Abandoned in a hurry. Or not abandoned at all. We stopped counting after a while. Not because it didn't matter. Because it did. Too much. By the 4th day, we had control of everything from the roof down to the 10th floor. Not safe, but manageable. Barricades at key points. Cleared zones. Marked danger areas. A system. The streets below kept changing. I watched them every morning. Same position. Same routine. Binoculars. Coffee when we had it. Silence. The cars didn't move anymore. Not really. Some had burned out. Black shells sitting in the middle of intersections. Others just sat. Doors open. Belongings scattered. The bodies less now. Or maybe just harder to see. What moved instead? Clusters. Not organized. But not random either. They followed noise. Movement. Anything that broke the pattern. We saw it happen once. A car alarm went off somewhere down the street. Within minutes, they converged. From alleys. From buildings. From places we hadn't even noticed. That told us everything we needed to know. Noise was death. Emergency services were gone. The police car at the intersection never moved. The fire engine stayed where it was. No sirens anymore. No response. Just relics. We started checking the TV less. Same messages. Same warnings. No updates. Eventually, nothing at all. Signal gone. That was when we found the radio. It was in an apartment on the 12th floor. Old. Battery-powered. Still worked. Barely. Static filled most of it. But sometimes a voice. Any survivors? Remain where you are. Evacuation zones. Cutting in and out. Fragmented. We gathered around it like it mattered. Like it was something solid. Did you hear that? Chloe said once, leaning closer. Evacuation zones. Where? Daniel asked. No answer. Just static. We tried different frequencies. Different times of day. Sometimes we got something. Most of the time, nothing. Once we heard gunfire through it. Not through the radio. Through the city. West. Same direction the other Rooftop had mentioned. We checked in with them every day now. Whiteboard in the morning. Short signals at dusk. They had names now. Marcus. Elena. Jared. Tina. 4 of them. Like us, just separate. They were clearing their building too. Slower than we were. More cautious. They talked about the same things. Water. Food. Sleep. And leaving. That came up more often now. Any movement? We wrote one morning. Their reply. Not safe. But staying forever, not an option. That stuck with me. Because they were right. This worked. For now. The roof. The garden. The water. It gave us time. But it wasn't forever. We talked about it more as the days passed. What's the plan long term? Daniel asked one afternoon. No one answered right away. Because no one had one. Expand here, Angie said finally. Grow more. Store more. Build something stable. Or get out, Luis said. Find somewhere better. What's better than this? Mrs. Klein asked. No one had a good answer. Harold did, eventually. Lower density, he said. Less population. Fewer variables. Less resources, too, Daniel pointed out. Trade-offs. Always trade-offs. That was the new world. The radio crackled again that night. We all leaned in. Federal response. Containment failure. Advise all civilians. Static swallowed the rest. Containment failure, Chloe repeated quietly. No one corrected her, because we all understood what that meant. This wasn't getting fixed. Not quickly. Maybe not at all. I stepped out to the edge of the roof later that night. Looked out over the city. Dark. Broken. Still moving. Somewhere out there, people were still alive. Like us. Holding on. But there was no system anymore. No structure. No safety net. Just pockets. Like ours. I thought about the apartment. The life we had. The plans. Kids. 3 years. That felt like a different world. Not gone, but far away. Angie stepped beside me. Thinking about leaving, she asked. Yeah, I said. Me too. We stood there for a while, looking out, at what was left, at what might come next. Not yet, she said finally. I nodded. Not yet, because for now, this was working. And in a world where almost nothing did, that was enough. That's it for today's story. We would love to see you again soon. But most importantly, stay safe out there.